My name is Allgaier, and in 2014, I've had the chance to join Lufthansa Group's customer service and make my passion, traveling and aviation, my job. And I don't know about you, but I've always loved the energy of airports and exploring new countries. So I was more than happy to jump on this opportunity. Within Lufthansa Group, I'm the product manager for our B2C conversational AI for Lufthansa, Swiss, and Austrian Airlines. We started looking into conversational AI in 2016 with first prototypes. And back then, I was invited to shape the idea of conversational AI in customer service. So together with a few colleagues, we worked on a concept and pitched that concept to an internal innovation board. And within that concept, we explained that there are three main goals. First, we saw that there is an increasing need and want of customers to reach out to Lufthansa Group through chat. Second, we were aware that there are certain points in our customer journey that need to be addressed, that we need to address those pain points and find a better solution than the ones that we had in place. And third, we wanted to support our customer service operations, making customer service easily available 24/7 and scalable at the same time. So we pitched that concept, received seed funding, and assembled a team. And after that, consolidated our chatbot initiatives and prioritized the customer service needs. And back then, we made a smart but very painful choice. We picked a super complex use case. And that use case is support in situations of short-term flight irregularities. What are short-term flight irregularities in our definition? Those are flight cancellations or severe delays of your flights in the time frame of around 1 day round check-in. So we started developing a proof of concept, and that was quite successful. We managed to support thousands of users and rebooked thousands, provided alternatives to tens of thousands, and reached with that use case up to 20% of affected passengers. And we really received wonderful feedback, and you can read through some of those feedbacks. Back then, the development took place entirely in-house. And that was the deliberate choice to build up expertise in that field, because we knew back then strategically this is going to be important. However, back then the development was rather code heavy, but we started adding features and channels, but slowly realized that we're losing speed. We also noticed that we wanted to give more power to the business users to actually shape the conversations and improve the conversations and solution rates within those. So we started looking into conversational AI platforms, and we're evaluating different providers and options, and then came Corona. So the new situation posed major obstacles. We have gone from my flight is cancelled, what is the alternative that I can rebook to when do I actually get my money back, and where can I still fly to? And those market dynamics changed fairly quickly. So one country opened up, the other one closed down, and that led to a high need of flexibility from our side, quickly adjusting the information that we want to convey to our customers. Plus, due to the worsened financial situation, we were under extreme cost pressures and still are, and as well as staffing restrictions. So we try, of course, to use as little resources as possible to improve our cash position. On top of that, there was a very strict prioritization within Lufthansa Group of which project is allowed to continue and which ones are supposed to be put on pause for the time being. So with little time and few people, we focused on what's most important, started from scratch on a new setup that we managed to build. We started or restarted with an MVP, with one use case that actually tried to address the question, where can I travel? We started with one channel and one airline. But over the course of about 18 months now, we added channels, features, and airlines step by step. After 18 months, we've integrated into 2 channels, added more than 10 features with very different degrees of complexity, and made pretty much everything available that we had in the past to our users again. And from daily numbers in the low hundreds, we've gone to beyond 10,000 users each day, making the new setup quite a big success. And from my perspective, we can pinpoint 4 major benefits that helped us making a success. And I would like to summarize these benefits and briefly touch upon our team setup and technical setup. The first benefit that we noticed was we now allowed our customers to reach out more easily than before and allowed our customers to get their answers quickly, 24/7, and especially also in peak times. You can imagine that especially at the moment, we see loads of peaks in our customer service operations, and that definitely helped us to address those. Second, we saw that we could bring out features faster than before and bring out the right features and be more flexible about them, fine-tuning them in a faster manner. Third, we have gathered enormous transparency about what is working well and what needs further attention to fine-tune the use cases and make them better. And lastly, one point that I quite frankly underestimated initially was we saw that other departments and business units wanted to join quickly and also bring bots live in their areas. So the new setup enabled us to bring other business units up to speed in a very short time. Seeing those benefits and the huge increase in user numbers led to very strong support across all management up to the very top. And you can imagine that especially now, all projects are under very high scrutiny when it comes to ROI and customer impact, of course. Despite those pressures and that scrutiny, and despite many projects being asked to go into hibernation mode or being paused, we were actually asked to scale our teams and even increase our efforts. So we managed to increase our headcount and created 4 teams with as little overlap across them as possible. One instance, product management, is steering the overall efforts. And here it's important to point out that part of the product management is also our analytics team that pushes us for data-driven prioritization of use cases. Then we have teams focusing on improving what we already have, one dedicated team preparing new use cases, and one team driving deep integration into our service centers. Lastly, there is one more team enabling the other 3 teams from a technical perspective. Next to that, we have seen that other business departments would like to use the same technical setup to create their own conversational AI experiences, partially using our features that we've developed in our teams. Now, a brief look into our technical setup. The conversations are coming in through different channels into our conversational AI platform. Those channels can be web chat, Facebook Messenger, you name it. Within that platform reside the dialogue, so logic and output, and those are created by our business users and technical users alike using either graphical or command line interfaces. This platform then orchestrates the conversation between users and us as Lufthansa Group, and that includes gathering of information from backend systems, making changes in reservations, retrieving FAQs, etc. Lastly, we have customer service agents supporting our guests, also in live chat situations when the chat is handed over to a human agent from the bot. What is next on our agenda? How will we continue our journey in conversational AI? Well, first is we prepare for further scaling, and we put a lot of focus right now on fine-tuning and deepening the existing use cases, improving those with a particular focus on improving UX. Second, we prepare exciting new features that will definitely address one of the major pain points that we currently see of our customers. I cannot share all the details yet, but stay tuned, and by end of the year, you will see new features coming up. And lastly, we will take first steps into the application of voice bots and integrate our conversational AI even deeper into our service centers. To conclude, please allow me to give you 3 tips that we have identified over the past years. How can you make your conversational AI plans successful? First, build a team that is really passionate about conversational AI and focus rather on attitudes over skills. So from my perspective, the highest value lies in hands-on attitude, really wanting to shape that conversational experience and trying to figure out what you can do to make it better. And make sure you have a very strong voice for UX in those teams. Second, start with a use case that impresses. It is going to make your life extremely easier and will make it easier to get buy-in from both internal stakeholders and from customers alike. Lastly, make sure that the tech stack you pick can easily be used at scale so that it allows for high volumes, but also for an easy use and adaptation across different business units. So this concludes my presentation. Thanks a lot for tuning in.